Hi there and welcome. I'm going to be showing you how you can log into Zoom, particularly with COVID-19. Zoom has become very important for the education around the UK at the moment, and I'm sure around the world. So Zoom is a very reputable and safe company. It's particularly liked by educators because you have a record function on it. So you can actually record and look back and have other people vet you, so you can see exactly how the correspondence has been between yourself and your pupil. Obviously it's especially important if you're working with minors. So I'm a musician and I'm going to be doing it from the focus of teaching music, but also any kind of education or even perhaps some contact if you're stuck indoors for a while. Might be helpful. So we're going to jump over. I'm going to put the computer screen so that you can see it on your own screen, and if you just follow the mouse along it should take you through the steps. So when you're on your computer, you just want to type Zoom UK download. You can see it already recognises it. Now myself, I do own a Mac as well, but I'm working on Windows today, so I'm going to go to Windows, and with Windows it's going to say automatically downloading. You can see immediately at the bottom left you've got the installer going exe, and you can see at the bottom right, well for me, my security program Total AV is saying yes, that's fine, it's a good and well-known program. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up. Probably take between about 10 to 20 seconds depending on your PC and your internet speed. We're running ultra fast fibre optic here, so you might find it's perhaps a bit faster on my screen than it might be at home for you. And this is, do you want to allow it to make changes, and you want to go ahead and click yes. So just going to wait for that to installise and pop up. Okay, so for me it's opened it down here. You see where my mouse is along the bottom of the screen, so it's actually not automatically put it on the screen for me. So I'm going to click that, and I'm going to put, well for me it gives me the option of signing in, but once you've clicked signed in you won't have an email and password for it, and here's where people get stuck with Zoom. You actually want to look here, sign up for free. This is the important part for you teachers out there. So go to sign up for free, and it's going to ask you to enter your work email address. You can see automatically it's used for businesses a lot because it's got the emphasis on work email. It's not often a home service. So I'm going to go ahead and put my work email in and click sign up. Okay, so it says, we'd like to help get the most out of Zoom by sending resources along the way. You can unsubscribe. So I'm just going to click confirm for now. If you see if your preference is to unsubscribe, you can. So that's then going to send me an email. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like in your email. So a lot of work emails link immediately to Outlook web app. So that's what mine is in, and I'm going to need to click activate account. So it's then going to take me to this sign up page. So I'm going to put in my details. All my information is available online anyway, so it's not a problem. My password. And I'm going to click continue. If you put a password that isn't 8 characters long, I'll let you read it for yourself of course, you're going to find that sometimes it won't accept it. And so make sure it does have those 8 characters. It needs a number, yeah. So all that pieces of information there. Okay, so then we go to continue. Not here. So it's got to invite your colleagues. You don't need to do this, so you can go ahead and click skip this step. Okay, so then it says start your test meeting, and you want to do that, so you press start test meeting. Okay, so the start test meeting is launching, but you'll notice immediately it says do you want to open Zoom, because remember earlier the first thing I showed you is we downloaded the app, which is down here, because currently we're working on Google Chrome. So we want this to now transfer to the app. So we're going to go open Zoom application. And despite what you've got behind where you can see Google Chrome, we are now working down here through the app, which is on our computer. Just to be very clear, an app will be a program saved on your computer, and Google Chrome will be something working off the internet. So we want to be able to deal just with our computer. Now I've got an awful lot of information going into my computer, but you can go ahead and click join with computer audio. I'll show you how to put your own speakers in and video cameras later. So you're now a member of Zoom, which is fantastic, and you've got the confirmation that you're within the app. So it's all good from your end. Now, we're currently in a meeting, which we don't need to be. So I'm going to come out and show you this from the start. Right, let's go. Okay. So you'll now have it on your desktop. Ta-da! So we're going to open up Zoom. And this is what you're going to see. So you want to go to New Meeting. So here I've come up. Okay, so that's what it looks like. And you've got the only pieces of information here are these 8 squares at the bottom. And that's all you have to deal with, which is fantastic. So you can do 2 things. You can ask the student to input the meeting ID. This is okay, but it gets a bit messy because as you get new meetings, you get different IDs. Plus, if you give your IDs out and the parent, let me just show you, for example, hold on. So the parent will log in and see this, right? If they click join and they enter the meeting ID, they can actually join during someone else's lesson. So it's not a fantastic idea. So what I find is I end all my lessons about 1.5 minutes early, and I just to give preparation, set some homework, end them slightly early. The parents never have minded, and that means that I can clear that meeting, set up a new one, and invite the next student. So this is what I do. So I go to new meeting, I do it all at my end, and I have nothing that is pre-given to the parent. So all I say to the parent is, your child's going to have a lesson at 2 p.m. and at 2 p.m. you're going to wait for your Google account or your email account to receive a link. So this is how that works. So I've just made a new meeting. You could pretend I've just finished with a previous student or client. So I'm going to go to email. You can pick which you like. My preference used to be Gmail for my private students, but I'm going to be doing this from a work email, so I'm going to have to click default. And if you're with a music service, you're going to need to use default because we have emails which are not Gmail or Yahoo. So if I click default, it's actually going to show you all my private messages. So you just have to take my word for this. You're going to click default and it will preload an email that you can send a client. I can't do with this one because it's a work email, but I could show you here. So it will look the same. So here this is brilliant because there's no sensitive information. So it just says to me, I'm going to send someone a message saying, please join Zoom meeting in progress. And all the person does is gets the meeting ID this way, or they can type that link in and go immediately to the meeting. So this works phenomenally well. So the parent, I say, your child will have a meeting teaching a lesson at 2 o'clock with me. They wait to receive an email about 1 minute before the lesson's scheduled. I do this process, they receive it. They can either use the meeting ID to input the homepage of Zoom, or they can just click this link. If you can't click it, you can copy and paste it, and you can pop it in your browser, which is fine. Okay, so that's how that works. Let's return to our app down here, and we want this one. Okay, and that's the best way to invite the students. Now, when you're in a meeting, you need to be aware of 3 things: the mute, the stop video, and the record. So we'll go through these in order. So the mute button will stop your voice. So now you couldn't hear me. The reason for this might be is if you ever have something private that happens, occasionally if my telephone starts ringing, or my home phone is ringing and the student is performing on their violin or piano, I might press mute so that they can't hear the background noise from me. The arrow next to it tells you what you're going to use. So I have a range of things inputted usually, so this is often quite large, but this has got my computer microphone, which comes as standard, or my headset, which I'm talking into now. So I'm using my headset. Headset's always preferable over what your computer's got. That's definitely going to be the case in every instance, even if you've got a very expensive computer. You can use some external mics, but that's not really necessary.
Just in case you would like to use an external mic, this is the best time to go through it. So, despite being a full-time musician, I actually work as a professional photographer and videographer. So I have a huge range of equipment that I can show you, and you can take it on good authority that it is worthwhile. So let's turn this round so you can see what's going on. Right. So on top here, I've got a Rhodes microphone. And that Rhodes microphone, I can put a description in the link. It's about £150, and it's a professional stereo microphone, which I've used for recording one of my albums, things like this. So it's really, really brilliant for the money, actually. You can also do all this inputting with microphones and vocal mics, all the Shure things, but the stereo Rhodes mic is really exceptional. Brilliant. It's got over 100 hours of battery power, and it's always done me justice, and I've been very pleased when I've used it for recording bands and theatre shows even. So there's a lot of noise and it deals with it brilliantly. You can also speak into it, and you've got some settings, so that one I recommend. The next thing is this. So this is an Xbox headphone with headphones with a microphone. This is about £25, and you can get these in Currys on delivery at the moment. They're very simple to use. They're fantastic because they're noise reducing. You can hear your students. I always ask my students to wear headphones, by the way, just in case you're new to this. All my students wear headphones. Obviously, I only teach trombonists, violinists, drummers, and pianists. So if you're perhaps teaching a double bass student, that might present some problems, but usually it's not a problem. So this is what I use. Most of my private students have these as well, because they work so seamlessly. You can hear everything really well, and they just have one input. So I recommend these, and I'll put those in the link. It's significantly better than your laptop mic, and the reason you use this over it, apart from being clearer and more reliable, is that the sound, it doesn't take sound from very far away. So when I use my laptop mic, I can perhaps hear if we've got the family television on far away, but with this on, it's okay. Although I'm in my studio at the moment, so there's no sound interrupting, so we can use what we like. Okay, next one is stop video. This is brilliant. So this is going to stop the video straight away. If I want something private to happen, or I need to leave to look up some books or faff about with something that I don't particularly want the student or parents seeing, something simple, like you need to tuck your shirt in, tie your shoelace up, doesn't look very professional. If you got it, you can just pop that for a moment. Or if someone comes in to speak to you, you can do that. And you just click it again. Then here is your different settings. So usually that's got my camcorder in, but for you, no problem, just use this for now. If you'd like to use something else to input and see your footage, it gets really quite detailed in how to do that, but I can show you what you'll need. So you need one of these, which is a cam link. Now obviously I never use this to show anyone anything, so I'll put that in the link. It just means that you can link your camera or your phone or your camcorder into your laptop, and then you can display the image from it and basically use it as your webcam. No webcams are good. It's quite well known. You can tell from the quality here. No webcams are good, even if you buy a really expensive one. What's very good is professional SLRs and camcorders, but they don't link to your computer. And how you make that work is you buy one of these, and it just links it all neatly together. Camlink by Elgato is the really famous make, but because of COVID-19, they are all out of stock. Totally out of stock. Like, can't get them until 20th of April, I think, was the earliest one's going to come into the UK. So that's a no-go. You can buy some really expensive ones, but it's £120 as it is. So if you're going to pay £200 for some of the professional ones that I've got, you're going to want to use this a lot. So perhaps not just for some teaching while we're weathering this virus. Okay, final thing is the record function. You just press record. It's absolutely brilliant. And you see top left, so as you start recording, that will record what you're looking at, and your screen, I'm only got myself, but your screen will have a picture of the student, and it will record the audio. So it's brilliant for safeguarding, because you'll be able to see what they're doing, what you're doing, and anyone can check up, which is great. You can pause it if you wish to go away and get a cup of tea and you've got a break, if you're teaching an older student, or you can leave it running. I always leave recording running no matter what I'm doing. Even if I do this stop video, it's just so much better. And that's that. Now, a lot of problem people had is where the recordings go. So it's a bit awkward. When you want to find them, you go into your File Explorer, and you want to go to Quick Access and just type Zoom. Simple as that. Your first one will be called Zoom. If you want to do it the long way around, you can go to your PC, and you can go to your documents, and you can go all the way down to Zoom, and then in there it records your Zooms. So you can see today I've taught 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 private lessons, and I can open one of these and it's got the link to show myself and my students. Obviously it's all sensitive information so you can't see it, but that's how it works. And you've got in each file, you've got an audio only, you've got your playback, which is an M3U file, so that won't be helpful for you. This is the important one. You've got the audio only, or the very important one, which says Zoom 0. You can see a little picture of me. That's just as I logged on to speak to my student earlier. And there you go. So that's how you find it. If you want to then upload it to your work, you simply just grab it. So I normally do these via emails when I put them on Dropbox, but your work may not let you use a Dropbox, or you might use it's a really famous one, OneDrive. OneDrive is used a lot because obviously it's the official Microsoft company, and a lot of work emails are going through the government anyway. So you just grab that and you can put it into where you wish to. So like you attach a picture to an email. And that's everything you need. Share screen, definitely stay away from. Share screen will show everything you've got on your computer, the whole screen, to the student. So unless I'm using my iPad and I've got Fourscore on with music, I always stay away from that. Yeah, so that's one to avoid unless you've got something very important you need to share with them. It's much easier if you just email them the document earlier, or if they're using a grade 1 book, you have your own grade 1 book. One thing you might like to know is that when you have students who are using Fourscore, so I've never done this with any students from work, but my private students, all of them, really all of them, I require them to use Fourscore. So they play the piano from that music, and then I annotate whilst they're playing it what I need them to sort out, and then I send them the new version. They delete their old version and get the new version, and I annotate in different colours every single week. I can always do another tutorial on Fourscore if you need some help with that. Okay, so
thank you very much for watching today. That was hopefully a bit helpful for you and get you started on Zoom. You can use Skype as well, but the downfall with Skype is that the connection isn't particularly good. Now, it has to be said that Skype is a little bit more awkward to record with, so Zoom is a pretty solid choice for students and teachers. The only thing that I would say is if you do want to use Skype, you can get one of these T-links. TP links. Let me just unattach my camcorder and I'm going to show it.
Okay, so here's the TP link. These are amazing little gadgets. They basically save you having to bring an Ethernet cable all the way through your house from your modem to your laptop, so it could be like 10, 20 meters if you're really far away. It's really awkward. These make an incredibly secure connection, much stronger than Wi-Fi. It's very unlikely with these that you're going to lose connection. Skype particularly is quite bad for that. Most times during a lesson, if you are on Wi-Fi, if you've got very strong fiber optic, all that, you're going to cut out at some point anyway. These Ethernet cables are really amazing, and this is equivalent to dragging a huge 10 meter wire through the house. You just have two TP links, you plug one in near your computer, and as short as possible, an Ethernet cable should run into your computer, and then here you can see the other one. So here's our Skybox. The Ethernet cable goes into the back of that. Any of those yellow ports is fine. They will all be yellow on every router. And that goes straight into the TP link, which is just behind there. That's the other one, and you see a little square on it. You push those buttons, push it when they're both plugged into the mains and the mains is turned on. They can be an extension cable as well, that's fine. You just press it on one, press it on the other. Within about a minute's worth of each other, they'll connect to make a really solid connection. And there you go.
Well, thank you very much for watching. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask below. I've got a lot of information I could give you about how to record musical instruments well, what mics to use, how you can connect them to your computer. But today was really the basics of just making sure that you know how to log yourself in, be able to get Zoom up and running for yourself and your students, and then you can have a look into making the video quality more professional, the mic more professional, after you're a bit more familiar with it. Okay, brilliant. Thank you very much for watching.